and a Hite.
And it goes like this. Tell me about a tongue and I know you. Kiss me till you're drunk and I show you all the moves like Jagger. I've got the moves like Jagger. I've got the moves.
I'm so excited about this. I've condensed the talk down to 140 characters and like 30 slides. Social media has the extraordinary power to change your life, work, and the world. And so I'm gonna do a pre-poll and a post-poll, and I wanna know how many of you in the room right now, with all of your heart, believe that? Raise your hand. Come out, don't be shy. Raise your hand, all right? All right, I have some work to do in 20 minutes, okay, cool. All right, great. So I thought the best way that we can maybe set the mood and kick this off is we're gonna talk a little bit about my social life. Don't worry, that should only take like 60 seconds. And many of you that have heard me talk before have heard me describe social media as life digitally with superpowers. I've been saying that for years. And with all of the platform changes and everything that's changed in this space, that truth has remained. The only thing that's happened is those superpowers have got bigger, better, faster, and far more experiential. And so everything I'm about to show you right now happened 100% because of social media. If social media didn't exist, these things would not have happened, or very likely would not have happened. So they happened because of social media. So are you ready to talk about my social life? Yeah. So 8 years ago, I was able to start and grow a company solely because of social media with only $64 in the bank. Couldn't have done that without social media. I was able to hire some really awesome talent like Super Brew. Clap it up for Super Brew. Through social media, I also hired some unawesome talent as well. Landed a speaking tour in the UK with one of my best friends, and that was a lot of fun. We toured throughout the UK because of social media. Won the internet and got hired lots of times. We lost the internet and almost got fired. You try surviving an anonymous attack where they put a call to troll to their almost 2 million followers, one of the brands you have, and we have the internet scars to prove what that went through, but so won and lost the internet. Also drove traffic by handing social media, and this is a scary thought, 100% over to team members. So drove traffic by handing social media platforms 100% to team members. Also drove traffic by taking a social media platform and saying, we're gonna be hands off for a year, and we're gonna give it to you, and it's all yours for a year. Did that. Drove traffic lots of other ways as well. One best branded Twitter account, best Instagram campaign, best storyteller on Facebook out of 60,000 brands in the last year. We made really good headlines. Our clients made some amazing headlines for the work they did. We made some bad headlines too, this Gawker one, and that is absolutely not true, by the way. One of this guy's, I guess, staffers attended an event like this that we threw one time. There's no political, crazy people, staffers in the room while there. I don't want to end up on Gawker again. Met my favorite actor in the world for my favorite show, like a show I was obsessed with because I used to tweet about it all the time. We built a relationship on Twitter. He DM'd me one time and said, if you're ever in New York City, let me take you to dinner. That happened. I met my friend's favorite country music star. I found out who that guy was like 10 minutes before that picture was, but that was also because of Twitter. Fell in love, and then unfortunately fell out of love, also social media. Went to Africa with a guy I met on the internet. Talked my friends into going to Africa with me with that same epic dude from Twitter. And then took my friends that couldn't go to Africa with us on a trip through social media and experience, and they were able to go on that trip. And we came back and used social media to raise money for those villages in Africa. Collected memories and connected my family through some of our best times ever. Revisited those memories and connected our family through some of our hardest times ever. And this year will be the year we will cross the milestone of raising over $1 million online for the causes that we really care about a lot. So clap that up. many of you probably could put together your own slides like that of ways that social media has changed your life. In fact, most of us in this room have either seen or experienced the superpowers of social media. We have seen it influence elections. We've watched it ignite revolutions. We've watched it make people's cats famous. So we know that for better or worse, that social media is a force to be reckoned with. I think that the jury's no longer out on that. We know that social media is a really powerful force. And it's funny because for many years, people would ask us what we did. They didn't know what we did. And I would always say, we engage communities and we ignite movements. And people would look at me like, you do what? And I would refuse to say that we're a social media agency. I've gotten over that now. So I'm able to say now we're a social media agency. But I looked at saying we're a social media agency the same as kind of saying like we're a fax machine company. I felt like there was a shelf life on this. And I had this middle schooler one time remind me of that when I was speaking. I kept saying social media over and over again. And he was mocking me from the crowd. And he was saying social media, and he kept rolling his eyes. And so finally I just stopped, and I said, well, what do you call it? And he said, the internet. I said, touche. Like, that's what you call it, and that's what you've always called it. It's always been that way for you. One day, hopefully not that kid, but his generation will be running things, and we'll call it something else. The platforms will change. But something that will always be there is this concept and this model, which is really what we're doing, is we're engaging groups of communities that are on the internet, and we're connecting them. So we're going to do a Throwback Thursday. It's an internet term when you're like going back to the past. I want you to think about the first time that you noticed the extraordinary powers of social media. And when people started really waking up, and what was it? There were movements. There were political elections. There were people wanting to free a people. They wanted to elect a leader. Those things, those powerful forces, create a model that is the crystal ball for what works in marketing. Think about Seth Godin's book a while ago that he put out called Tribes. I remember in the early days we were saying that social media, these tribes are forming online. You didn't pay attention then. If you just dismiss that then, it's impacting the economy now. It's pre-industrial meets digital. So way back in the day, we used to, villages, and some villages still do today, take care of each other. We cared for each other. We shared resources. I believe that that's probably how we were supposed to live on this planet. And now with the digital age, it's allowing people to start sharing those resources again. So Kyle talked about this collaborative economy. You've heard it called the shared economy, also the peer-to-peer economy. So it's I have this, you need this, and they share. That revenue is projected to reach $335 billion